Morning guys, apologies for the delay. It's been so long since I uploaded a video. I've been to France, I went out to Wales with Carl and Alex, and I just had a few weeks there with no videos and no pressure, and it's done me a world of good, to be honest. But now I'm itching to get back and start getting some content back up on the channel for you guys. So there's been a few developments. I've got a little boat. You might have seen it when I was in France. I've got a little inflatable which I used in France for baiting up and various other things. But the plan going forward is to use that for a little bit of sea fishing, and to rig up a camera and sort of follow my adventures afloat and with the carp fishing as well, just to mix things up a little bit. And the plan was, I've got an outboard engine and it's in the workshop being fixed, being serviced and sort of being ready for the season ahead, if you like. But I was hoping it was going to be ready for this weekend, but it's not. It's still got to have a little bit more work done on it. Should be ready for next weekend. So I was going to go out sea fishing in the boat, maiden voyage, just to give her a little bit of a trial run. But that's not going to happen now. So I've been visiting the Moat this week. I've had a couple of walks around during the week at lunchtimes, and I've seen a couple of fish cruising around. It's been an east wind, and I think it's been putting the fish off and putting them down deep, but I've still seen a few fish cruising about. Not loads of opportunities, but one or two. The weed's looking good. It's a lovely day today. It's going to be hot as well, so if there's going to be a day when the carp are up on top cruising about through the weed, I think today's going to be it, and tomorrow's going to be pretty rubbish with some thunderstorms apparently. So I've just been to the tackle shop, I've just been to the food shop, all set and loaded, so I'm going to head straight for the Moat now, and I'll see you next when I get there. So I've just arrived and it's quite windy out there. It's windy, it's very autumnal, so there's loads of leaves on the surface as well, which is making fish spotting quite tricky. But the sun's not overhead yet anyway. It's only about 9 o'clock, so the sun's quite low. So I think this morning it's going to be about maybe sticking a pop up in a few holes in the weed and see if I can get something feeding on the bottom. Handful of pellets over, and just sit on my hands for the first couple of hours. I think getting towards lunchtime, when the sun gets a bit higher in the sky, that's when I can get on my toes and have a good look around, see if I can find anything to target. So I've got two rods. I'm going to set up one for fishing on the bottom and one with just free lining. I've got a tin of lunch meat and a loaf of bread for the stalking, and I've got a bag of pellets and a few pop-ups for fishing on the bottom, so I think that'd be a good starting point. Yeah, it's definitely out of sorts. I think it's going to be a struggle today. I think if we can get an autumn carp under our belt and get the autumn campaign underway, then I think we'll be doing well. Just got a feeling there's going to be a lack of opportunity. It's not being me negative, it's just me being a realist. Some days you walk around and you see groups of them and you see them sat in the weed and milling around the pad, and you just think, yeah, I'm going to catch a couple today. But today, I'm not feeling it. But I'm here till later on after tea, so we have got plenty of time to make it happen. So this is so tricky today, I just can't find them. Usually I'm in my element with all this weed. Just stare at the weed long enough and you can see them. I've even been throwing bread crusts out on the weed to see if anything comes up through and it sort of gets them moving, but it's not happening. Maybe they're well under the weed near the bottom. Maybe they're in the pads, maybe they're in a completely different section. I think I've just got to keep searching until I find them. Found a couple up on the corner earlier, made a couple of casts as well, but I think the one cast that looked like it was going to do something, when the fish looked like it might be up for it, it went over a branch of a tree and just the hook came off. But one of those mornings, just hope we have a better afternoon. The excitement levels have just shot up through the roof. Just had a bit of lunch, just come back to peg 30 in a little spot where I put some pellets earlier. I've just seen a small carp feeding on it, and also over by the pads, one of the pads is just moving a little bit unnaturally, so I think there's a fish underneath the pads as well. So a couple of opportunities there, might not come to anything, but looks good. So I'm hurtling dangerously towards a blank now. I've got a couple of hours left, and I've got fish that just keep visiting this one channel and sending up a load of bubbles, feeding on the pellets I'm putting out. So I'm cheating. I've just been back to the car and I've made up a rod with a little pop-up rig on, and I'm going to try and salvage the blank. Little tip for you if you're fishing in the edge with luncheon meat. If you cut a pop-up in half, not in half, but score it halfway through, you can just pinch it onto the line and that'll act as a float, and it'll fall off easily if you go through any weed or anything. There he is. Absolutely beautiful little blank saver. Little hole underneath a tree, little hole in the weed underneath a tree just to my right. Dropped a few handfuls of pellet in there. I've just been to check it and there was 3 fish down there upend. So I've dropped a bit of luncheon meat down and the line tightened. And there he is. Got to be pleased with that one. The autumn campaign off to a flying start. Well, that is the end of a very enjoyable session, but a very tricky one. I love this time of year, but usually the fishing's a little bit easier. The carp love this weed, they feel confident in it, so usually they're sitting in it and they're feeding in it and they're moving through it. I've seen very little in the way of carp today. I've probably seen 4 or 5 carp. I've managed to catch one of them, so it's not a blank, so that was a result. Lovely to catch one. But I did think there was going to be a few more on the cards. But there you go, that's fishing. Next time, hopefully, if the weather's right and my engine's ready, I'll be out in the boat next weekend. I'm going to try and rig the camera up so I can film that as well. So, should have something a bit different to show you. But I'm just going to get packed away now. Go and get some dinner somewhere, and then I've got to start work at 6 o'clock. It's about 4:30 now, so that's enough for me. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.